Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to do an update on the situation with Warner Brothers Discovery. Zaslav was right. Again, turns out that David Zaslav saved the company over $2 billion by making the cuts that he made, the cuts that a lot of people didn't agree with.
I mean, there's cuts we don't agree with.
There are cuts we don't agree with, but again, Zaslav was brought in not to be a friend to the company, but to be a friend to the shareholders and to be a good steward of the resources available. And this company was drowning in debt.
We're not like championing Zaslav contrary to people's beliefs. We're just saying this is what Hollywood's having to do for all the rampant spending and choosing the wrong projects and all that. Their companies are going to find more and more going to have to do what Zaslav just did.
Yeah, the day of reckoning is coming, and by reckoning, I'm starting that with a W.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, CNN is going to get wrecked.
CNN needs to be wrecked.
CNN, which has been, ironically enough, look, you can get a coin with him.
Why did that even show up?
Because this probably, we'll just shut that down. There we go. Okay.
That's weird.
So CNN is going to get completely gutted. Again, this is probably a Zaslav decision. He brought in a new boss at CNN. They've been firing people, canceling shows. And the goal, as we understand it, was to turn CNN into a reputable news source, unbiased news source again. So we're going to talk more about this before we get into it any further. Here's a word from the sponsor of this video. Hey guys, before we get into the video any further, we have to give a shout out to this video's sponsor, Hero Wars. Halloween is almost here, and we need your help to open the portal to the Dominion where treasure awaits. And by treasure, we mean prizes for you. 10,000 installs of Hero Wars are needed to open the portal and get prizes. The more installs we get, the more prizes will be drawn. If we hit the goal before October 31st, the portal will be opened. What are those prizes, you ask? Over 100 Amazon digital gift cards will be drawn among all those who installed the game via the link in the description. Only game installs from the link in the description will take part in the sweepstakes, so make sure you follow the link in the description. Got it? Got it? Sign up for the prizes, but stay for the play. Hero Wars is a fantasy RPG that's easy to pick up and hard to put down. Hero Wars is 100% free to download and play. Now here's the fine print on how to enter the sweepstakes. Download the game through one of the 3 tracking links placed in the website. You can complete a short in-app tutorial, then sign up for a free game account and get an in-game ID to take part in the sweepstakes. Let's open a portal to the Dominion together. Thanks again to Hero Wars for sponsoring this video. Download the game from the link in the description and start playing right now. Let's get back into it. All right, guys, welcome back. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Over 278,000 subs.
Woo,
Thank
sorry.
you. You're a little slow in the woo today.
I'm slow today in general.
So let's talk about CNN first. That's probably why most people are coming into this video. Coming from the Hollywood Reporter today, layoffs to hit CNN as CEO Chris Licht tells staff that restructuring will accelerate soon. So here's the thing. People thought that they laid some people off, and this is all across Warner, that it was over, but it's not over. It's just starting.
I thought it was like for like other stuff, but it wasn't necessarily CNN.
I think we're going to see a lot more layoffs. Every quarter, we're going to see layoffs.
He still needs to cut 1 point something billion. He had to do 3 point something, didn't he?
It was like $3.5 billion.
So he still has another $1.5 billion to do.
Yeah. So all this together will mean noticeable change to this organization. That, by definition, is unsettling. Licht wrote in a memo to staff. We're going to read that memo, but here's the article. CNN's going to see layoffs and other cuts in the coming weeks as the global news division responds to a worsening economic climate. And as Warner Brothers Discovery continues its effort to bring together the Warner Media and Discovery businesses. Now, one of the first decisions David Zaslav made was he shut down CNN Plus. And they spent like $500 million on CNN Plus. And it was, 3 weeks in? And he's like, yeah, just kill it. So CNN CEO Chris Licht explained the rationale in a memo to staff Wednesday, adding that our aim is to have most of these decisions made by the end of the year so we can start 2023 feeling settled and prepared for the future. Happy holidays, everybody. Yeah. Happy holidays. Employees at CNN have been bracing for change since Licht began a review of the news division's business lines and programming. On the programming front, CNN is set to debut a new morning show They canceled reliable sources. Lots of people have gotten laid off. Lots of people didn't like got laid off. And I think we're going to see a lot more layoffs. Here's the memo. Let's skip to the memo.
Okay.
Skip to the memo. To my CNN colleagues, I have spent the last 6 months meeting so many of you and diving deep into every corner of the company to understand how you do the incredible work CNN produces every day, but not enough. How we're structured and defining our top priorities.
So who can we keep and who we get rid of? I've got to know you to figure out who does the work and who doesn't.
As many of you know, I have also spent much of that time doing formal business review with senior staff to identify areas where we should make changes, investments, and reductions to match our future priorities. We have already begun working towards CNN's future, implementing a strategy that puts our journalism first and grows our digital stronghold. Now, CNN in the last couple of years has been opinion first and not actual journalism like so many other media
Yeah, it's
outlets.
not just CNN.
No. We combined our news gathering operations across linear and digital to ensure we can bring our full reporting firepower to any platform we're on. We're beginning to reimagine our morning and primetime lineups, officially launching our new morning show next week. We've started building our Sunday night long-form program. We have also begun to reduce or eliminate areas and people that aren't core to our mission. Talking heads that drive people away from CNN. We've gotten rid of them.
What their mission is journalism first. So we've been reducing or eliminating areas that aren't core to journalism first.
Pretty much. Yes. Salty journos, be gone. All these moves are designed to keep CNN essential across platforms to ensure that wherever and however people get their news, they must have CNN. Yeah, we can't just tune it out. Oh my God, how long does this go? Okay, there's a lot more to be done. I'm writing you today to say that over the next several weeks, that work will accelerate. There is widespread concern over the global economic outlook, and we must factor that risk into our long-term planning. All this together will mean noticeable change to this organization. That, by definition, is unsettling. These changes will not be easy because they will affect people, budgets, and projects.
I thought there was no recession coming.
That's what CNN told us. CNN said there was no recession. Irony. Anyway, does CNN report their own layoffs?
I don't know, probably. I think that we should.
We will be strategic in this process and will minimize the impact on our core news gathering operation and digital, both of which have already executed smart changes like shutting down CNN+. Let me be clear. I will not allow these changes to affect our position as the world's leading news source, and we will continue to invest in growth areas, not talking heads. When we conclude this process, CNN will still be the largest, most respected news gathering organization in the world.
Well, no, they might return to one of the most respected. They aren't right now.
Let's roll the clock back about 20 years, right? We will continue to cover any story, anywhere, anytime, with more resources than anyone else. Full stop. You just won't be part of that, will you?
Yeah, well, you have to make sure that you tell the truth and keep it to the facts. What a refreshing change in news that would be.
Our aim is to have most of these decisions made by the end of the year so we can start 2023 feeling settled and prepared for the future. We will send updates as I have them and plan to hold town hall meetings in November and December. Again, happy holidays. I know Christmas is next week, guys, but here's a fruitcake.
Yeah.
When we emerge on the other side, CNN will be a stronger, more nimble organization, ready to weather whatever the global economy throws at us and to grow into the future.
Some of you will be here and some of you will not be here.
Many of you will not be here because, So look, this is going to continue. Again, it's not just CNN. I think that we're going to see a lot more across the board. They announced yesterday that James Gunn is in charge of DC now.
Yeah.
And they're already making changes to projects that have been announced. And I think we're going to see a lot of stuff get canceled, a lot of other stuff get greenlit. I think a lot of stuff is going to be on the cheap. I don't think they're going to take chances anymore.
The cheap isn't necessarily good.
Not necessarily good, no. But I think this is why we're seeing so many cuts in the animation, because animation, it's time consuming and it's expensive and it's always a dicey proposition. We were watching the Toys That Build America the other night, and a lot of the franchises that still exist today exist because the merchandising is there. And many of the cartoon shows that have come out in the last 5 to 10 years, didn't have a lot of opportunity to merch well, right? So they kind of disappeared because you can't just live off of ad revenue or Netflix subscription revenue.
Right. You got subscription revenue because a lot of the old way of doing things too with the ad revenue isn't there anymore. So, they have to make it where they can make it.
Yeah, so they gotta make it where they can make it. So this is Comic Book Resources reporting from IndieWire that, Warner Brothers Discovery's content purge saved the company over $2 billion.
Yeah, between 2 and 2.5 billion.
Zaslav was right, again. Third quarter report reveals that Warner Brothers Discovery's controversial major content purge saved the company billions of dollars. Billions of dollars.
They said these major savings referred to the company accountants as content impairment development write-offs.
Wait, content impairment?
Apparently are part of a bigger third quarter pre-tax restructuring charges, which will ultimately amount to a number between 3.2 billion and 4.3 billion, putting them where he needed to be.
Yes.
Oh, he did it. It was just a few months. Holy crap.
I mean, he didn't waste any time. Like,
I mean, he's efficient. It's not always good for everybody who has jobs or like shows, but he's efficient.
Yeah. He knew what he wanted to do. I mean, he went in, he did the tour. He said, look, this is what works. This is what doesn't work. This is where we're going to go with things. And unfortunately, again, being fans of animation got hit the hardest because it's not a priority. It never has been a priority. People don't like to hear that. Just because a show has a big fandom on Twitter or Tumblr doesn't mean that it is good for the bottom line of the company. And again, when the money flows freely, these studios are able to take chances on things, and a cult following does not translate into dollars.
No.
And that's what we're seeing, unfortunately. Like, I loved Infinity Train. I thought it was really good. But I understand the financial decision behind it, because when was the last time you saw kids buying Infinity Train action figures or whatever?
Yeah.
They couldn't merch it, Well, the company's restructuring efforts are ongoing. So this is not over yet, guys, as CNN is going to learn, including the strategic analysis of content programming, which could result in additional impairments above the estimate provided above. The restructuring initiatives are expected to substantially be completed by 2024.
The end of 2024.
So
a couple of years. There's still more for the next couple of years.
The next couple of years, they're going to keep cutting, guys. I mean, this is far from over, and I have to wonder what's going to be left of Cartoon Network. I have to wonder what's going to be left of DC Comics.
I think they're going to sell stuff. I think they're going to start selling stuff off. That's what I think.
Agree. I think they'll probably sell off some of the IP that's kind of like, whatever. And I could see them selling off a bunch of the Cartoon Network stuff. Unless it's Scooby-Doo, which is like a core, to them, like a core franchise. I could totally see them just being like, hey, you want a bunch of old Cartoon Network shows? Yeah, Netflix, you want them? You can make sequels to them, whatever you want to do.
Or they would license them out to other places to make shows. They could run them on their network, but they don't have to have all the expense.
Yep. They said that part of the decision to scrap Batgirl was to protect the DC brand, while other sources claim the decision was not driven by the quality of the film. Test audiences who were able to view it compared it to a bad episode of TV.
That's not good.
That's not good. I think, honestly, if it was salvageable, and it's something that they maybe could have threw some extra money at and turned it into a theatrical release, they probably would have done it.
Right, because they could have got the scraped money back.
Right,
money
right.
back, yeah.
So they talk about some of the other shows. The release dates for Aquaman 2 and Shazam 2 were delayed significantly. And, of course, they were looking for somebody to head up DC, which is now James Gunn. Amidst cancellations, layoffs, and an ongoing lawsuit, Zaz responded to the rumors in September, claiming that Warner Brothers was being primed for purchase. We're not for sale, absolutely not for sale. We have the strongest hand in the industry. We have everything we need to be successful. I don't think he's telling the truth. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think this is corporate speak for, again, just like Twitter. Hey, we don't have any plans for layoffs. That's because once Elon Musk buys Twitter, it's his problem.
Yeah.
It's not the current board's problem. There are no plans currently. They're not for sale currently. That does not mean that they won't be for sale when he is done doing whatever he's planning on doing. And I would not be surprised if they didn't just sell the whole damn thing off in a couple of years. I mean, that's like Warner Brothers, like that's
the end of 2024.
The end of 2024. There you go, guys. You've got until the end of 2024 to find another job. Don't get laid off, because I think that's
or they could just be trying to get it all trimmed down so that it actually starts being profitable.
I think it depends on how the streaming service does when they consolidate it, because they bet the farm on HBO Max. They did. They really bet heavy on HBO Max. try to save themselves with AT&T, and it still wasn't enough, and AT&T still wound up selling them. So yeah, I mean, this is going to continue. I mean, I think, you know, obviously Warner Brothers in some form will continue. CNN in some form will continue. Those brands have been around for a while, but I mean, look at all the movie studios, you know, RKO Pictures, you know, movie studios that were huge back in the day, and nobody remembers them.
They just got rolled into somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, guys. It happens. So we got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.